right. Here we go, spawning at the bottom left of Abyssal Reef. It is the blue teal Zerg player. Playing for my risk. It is Schnubiiii. And we have on the other side of the map the yellow Protoss player, which has no team displayed here, but it is from A&A. It is Jailbreaker, known as I Read Your Face. Well, let's see what I Read Your Face means in this sort of matchup and in this sort of playstyle that we'll see in a few moments. We have a first pylon forward on Abyssal Reef. This is a sort of dangerous, guys, if you put a pylon forward. It depends, what is the first building gonna be? Gate or forge? Gate it is, walling up there. So basically what I Read Your Face is planning to do, I think, with that gate there, is to actually close up that wall there and have two other gates or two other buildings, even the pylon there, and then just go for that third here instead of having it there, because this little path can be easily abused. The problem with this is that we have often Ravager pushes that comes there and just pokes up everything because they are on the same height level, so basically there's no choke point to be wary of as Zerg, so well, everything can happen. So let's see what the calls are going to be this game, and well, already second building? I'm not so sure about that. Well, double gate it is? No, Nexus straight afterwards. On the other side we have Schnubiiii going for a pull first, and the hatchery is straight beneath it. So that just means a standard safe play for Schnubiiii. Most Zergs been tending to go for an early pull rather than going for an early hatch, because cannon rushes are the types of proxy early game. Proxy gates is not as popular as it was in Heart of the Swarm, but it still can make a difference. Here you see perfect wall, cybernetics core, and the gateway there. Perfect placements. Nothing's to be, let's say. Well, there's no fear now on that side of the wall. Now the rest of the job is to wall that part, and basically Jailbreaker will be fine protecting that natural base that she has right now. Roach Warren straight off the bat, one gas though, so there's gonna be a light Roach pressure, like 3 or 4 Ravagers maybe. Roach Ravager, maybe. I don't know yet what Schnubiii's plan is, because we have one hatchery morphing. Will it be a couple drones first, then going for a lot of Ravagers Roaches, or will it be just straight off the bat going for 4 Roaches? And well, let's see what happens, because one of the larvae is going to pop out there, and the 3 larvae are going to be there with the injections as well. There's not going to be enough resources to just spam more. Oh, is it a perfect wall already with the forge? That's interesting. A forge early game. I'm not sure that... okay, it's been... No, it's not been scouted. Okay, I was seeing 2 dots there, but that's all about that. So, oh, perfect wall already, getting that cannon here. Though it's a good placement, I gotta admit, that's a good cannon placement. I don't know why there's no music. Double cannon, huh? What's the meta here? Like, this cannon is really well placed. Well, you can hit everything from that side to there, and there. So, the only problem with that is that it's a very, how to say, fragile building. So if you get it killed, it's 150 minerals lost in how to say, a static defense that didn't work wonders in that first stage. But let's see what happens. We see couple links, a Ravager morphed, and we see more and more roaches there. A lot of roaches, so basically a little bit of drones, not even just one base, and basically just using all the larvae she can to just build the roaches and the Ravagers. Though it's a good call if she prevented the Jailbreaker going for the double cannon here to make sure nothing happens, but there's no pylon around that area. So basically what Schnubiiii can do is to go there with the Ravagers, go there with the Overlord, and basically spam this side and just be easily, well, this cannon is not scaring her at all, going for the first kill of that match. Going for that first cannon, the second on the way, but it's taking like this army is taking a lot of damage from this 2 overcharges there, but there's no mana left on that mothership core, which means that the second these overcharges are out, there's nothing to protect this base anymore. And now it's probably Schnubiii's time to go in, but I don't think she realized that there's nothing left. Perfect will called up there's just 2 Revengers, there's nothing to poke up with, but here she goes, 12 links in production, running through the map, and now the goal is to focus these 2 pylons, but everything seems so far that Jailbreaker is actually holding on. There's no overcharge yet, and now there's one, just one. Will it be called right now? Well done. And now Jailbreaker is rebooting that push, but there's more links to come. Perfect wall there, but well, there's 1 cannon on the back. Will it be enough to hold off that assault? And they are equal in bases right now, so more cannons. Well, you're not gonna get into my base, not at all. This is what it says right now, like 5-6 cannons. No, it's a pilot there, yeah. Even more cannons. And what's the tech building behind that? There's for now no tech decided by Jailbreaker, but we have on the other side Schnubiiii going for massive amount of drones and probably can go up to that third base knowing that her opponent is completely closed in the base. There's no way to get out, there's no tech building to be declared of, and now there's a robotics facility. So the main purpose right now for I Read Your Face, called Jailbreaker, is to either go out with a massive 2-base push or either destroy one of the buildings and go for that third base somewhere. So I'm not sure that the plan is to go for a third base here. I think the saturation will be reached very soon by Jailbreaker. So the goal will be to exploit these 5 gateways, get a prism, and just go for a massive push with the depths. I think that's the plan here, but we don't have any sort of Twilight Council to... Oh, well. We do have one. So we'll have a Twilight Council. Is it gonna be either glaives, or is it to spam a deck building known as the Dank Shrine? It's Templar Archives instead. Well, the way to spam your gas, I think this is what Jailbreaker is after in this match. Now, saturated on 2 bases, this is the key moment of that match. What will we see in a few moments? We have a couple links there, roaches are on the way as well, so the lair is there, we have no evolution chambers, we have the third base on the way, and there's nothing yet on that side. We don't have the... We have one immortal, but we don't have a prism yet, so I'm not sure. Is it gonna be Immortal Sentry attack or Immortal Archon Zealot something? Yeah, I see the charge, so yeah, Immortal Zealot Archon with couple Stalkers here. I'm not so sure. Right now Schnubiiii will have a lot more if she just drones up, but she has 38 drones, only 37 right now. And no, Jailbreaker has way more drones than her opponent, and that will play a part definitely, because even if that third base is up, if you don't have the resources to sustain an army that will actually beat the Protoss player, well, this is how you can easily lose a game that you were supposed to be ahead from. And I think that Schnubiiii doesn't realize that right now. If she keeps up the drone protection, she'll probably overrun that Protoss player that is Jailbreaker. 5 Zealots, 2 Immortals, 2 Archons, and I think with the good engagements right now, Schnubiiii can take the lead. But right now we have to see what will happen, because nothing's been decided yet, and third base instead of a push, I think that's pretty curious. We don't have any scout though from Jailbreaker, so she probably doesn't know that her opponent only has 41 drones. That could be already dreadful though. If Jailbreaker notices that out, she could probably go in for the kill here. We have the +2 attack research here, the Forge being exploited since the beginning of that game, and the +2 early attack upgrade shows it off, and that's a good way to take a sort of a lead in this game, because, well, the more upgrades you're gonna get, and the sooner, of course, and the least your opponent will be able to anticipate and keep up with them. We have the +1 ranged attack researched halfway only right now, so that's just not enough for now, and I don't think that she'll be able to hold that off if a push comes though, because there's nothing to be declared of. We have still 39 workers against 48, so let's not focus on the worker, let's focus on the fact that Jailbreaker takes that third, gets a cannon, and gears up for how to say, a later game plan. But I'm not sure that she I don't know how to explain that, but 6 gates in production. I think this is just more like to tell, well, I'm gonna go for a huge 3 base, a saturated attack here, and probably get a prism and just go for it. But she could already go for it, and she will face this sort of Baneling Ling, a roach attack, roach army rather, and well, even if it's split in half there, we'll still have the upper hand called for Jailbreaker. Look at this army, look at this. Like 2 Immortals, 5 Archons, this is already way enough. +3 attack on the way, +1 shields on the way as well. The prism is on the way. We have so many gateways. Okay, that's 12. That, and this 2, 14, this one 15. Well, I'm gonna spend my minerals. This is what I say. Good try on the run by here, but it's not the good base. We don't have anything on that side. Oh, it's a drop. It's a drop actually. Ooh, ooh. There's no defense at all. So I'm really curious. Oh, pylons everywhere. Well, that's a good way to scout, but well, more links on the way. I love this. It's gonna be an elevator, an escalator maybe, even more with this overlord now that has the drop research. And is it scouted by Jailbreaker? I don't think so. I don't think it is. We have the +1 carapace being researched, the +2 melee at ground ranged attack being researched, and I think that right now, yeah, she feels like she can go for it. And at this moment, at this precise moment, look at this, there's an overlord dropping at this location. 8 Zerglings will be causing mayhem, and now everything has been scouted though. The Zealots are colliding with the first few Banelings. They just die out of that engagement, but look at this Archon Immortal Force is already dealing a lot of damage. All these roaches queuing up against one Archon, focusing them, but there's nothing in Schnubiii's sides. There's just nothing here to hold that off. There's all the drones perishing with the base alongside them. We'll have no army left at all. I don't know what happens now, and we have a prism getting here to attack. That's very interesting. We'll still have the Link harass, but well, it's been rebooted by this batch of Zealots there, and we have the rest of the units attacking on this roach. Well, right now Jailbreaker is a good position, actually, how to say, holding that sort of army off on that choke point, and that's enough already. 29 workers, 30 killed. GG called. Spawning on the top left of Belchier Vestige, game number 2, as the teal Zerg player, playing for my risk, it is Schnubiiii. Kappa's in the chat for Schnubiiii here, and we have on the other side, on the bottom right, the yellow Protoss player that just won the last game, holding off a Roach Ravager assault. It is none other than the yellow Protoss Jailbreaker. We had Kappa's, and now we want Cool Cats for Jailbreaker here. What will be the plan? Pylon forward? Is it gonna be Gateway? Is it gonna be Forge? I don't think... Isn't that too close? Isn't that already too close? I'm wondering. I think this is a mistake, but we'll see later on in the game. Hatchery first, planted down by Schnubiiii. Well, getting the extra larvae for the extra production in the mid-game. This is what she's after with that build right now. Gas being called, and the pull in a few moments right now. 106, well, 60, and now that's the 200. Getting the pull. We are Gucci right now. Jailbreaker is scouting that hatchery. Well, nothing else, and I do really think that is a mistake. I think that she realized it with this pylon. I think this is oh. Is it gonna be then morphing into a one-base game? I think she can't really plant that Nexus down. That would be amazing. Yeah, she can't. She can't. she Oh my. It happens so much, guys. Don't laugh too much, because it happens to all the Protosses out there. We've all known the situation. And you're like, I'm gonna build my pylon up front, just next by my Nexus. This is the sort of stuff that happens afterwards, and you're like, well, just gonna make a game out of that situation. This is really hard to do so. Yeah, you can't build that Nexus. Oh, I was wrong all along. I was so wrong. Oh my god. This was a good pylon placement there. Woo. Just chose to get the cyber core a little bit faster than before. Though then, if she could from all that time around, why did she go for that and that in that same time? I'm not so sure yet. Schnubiiii should actually see what happens. She's like, well, what the fuck? Forge? Cyber? Gate? Cannons? What? Well, you know what to do when a player is actually turtling up their base. Well, you just build drones and hatcheries everywhere. And I think this is a good way. Like, look. Schnubiiii has 4 links. What she does with a pair of links is just to scout around the map. And you know what? Because of this, I'm just gonna put music in the background, because it's not gonna be really interesting without that. Just multitasking here a lot. So, couple links just scouting 3 cannons and the gateway number 2 here planted down. Well, this is nothing else that you can scout here. All the tech is there, and there's only 1 pylon in the main base. So there we go. Boop, and we get. Look at this, guys. Well, whatever. Not gonna put music then. And it happens once again, so well. I'm glad it happens. So, technical issues fixed. We have the evolution chamber planted down. I've seen overlords there around. Will there be an overlord on the main base? For Droperino's tactics, we have this probe just trying to scout a potential third base being completely denied by this trio of lings. This other here not in hold position. Come in my base if you want those cannons to welcome you. More gateways on the go with the Twilight Council, a sentry as well, and 24 lings for Schnubiiii here. Right now, if I were Schnubiiii, the interesting choice would be to go for that third hatchery, and boom! As soon as I talk about it, look what happens. Lings on that side, gearing up, and look at this. Proberto getting killed. No more scar on the map. Look at the vision from Schnubiiii. This is amazing, actually. Look at this. You can't go anywhere. I see everything in one half of the map. Everything is mine, and I love that Zerg play. I love that map vision. Good job on this overload placement, Schnubiiii. And there's no third base to be afraid of right now. What Schnubiiii should do is be like, well, I've seen that there's cannons, gates, and eventually more units. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of going for an attack myself, I'll just hold whatever can come forward in this situation. We'll probably have a tech building either hidden away on the map, or we'll have a tech building in the base, so I need to scout it and know what happens. This overlord here making the great job of just standing around in case like some oracles or prisms would go off the base, and this is most likely the path that they would take here or there, so that's a great job. And we see a lot of players here. We're even Cyan joining the crew in the chat. Hey yo, how you doing? Jailbreaker still doing fine here with the gateway. Warp gate to research the Twilight, the Templar archives here after the Twilight Council. There's no charge upgrades, and I think in upgrades, yeah, we have only the Overlord speed and whoa, ooh, wow, high cannon. Yeah, she dodged it without even knowing about it. Well, that's amazing. And there's another cannon here. I have a feeling that Jailbreaker is that person that just got harassed so much in her StarCraft life that she wants to build every cannon in every base so that she doesn't get any sort of harassments anymore. Look at this. Doesn't need to go for a mobile unit defense here, instead just get cannons. This is the mentality, this is the mindset, and still constraining Jailbreaker on 2 bases while she's on her 3rd. Jailbreaker still ahead right now. She has less, well, she's now catching up on workers, but she's had less with the 2 base mineral situation. No second gas taken there. We have the Hydra dead. So what to do right now? We have Archon, and I think this is the same how to say, same architecture of army. We'll see robotics facility planted down. So will it be Immortal Archon charge again, or will it be something else? I'm not so sure yet. I think she's just gearing up for the 200 gas, getting that charge and go for it. +1 upgrade is already researched and up and running for all the Protoss units there, and we have lots of links. Trying to scout still in that 3rd base. Well, there's nothing. This is suspicious, you know. Right now, your Schnubiiii are like, well, I know that last game it was sort of similar. What? No, Gateway San. Well, he's gonna die because of these Archons. They need to get out of the base because they can't go through that little gap here. The solution is to either warp the Templars in there, make them go forward, warp in outside to not lose a gate, but also destroying a gate to make a bigger entrance. Well, this is also a solution. Lings going back in the base, there's nothing else to be seen. Hydra's armor thing, and I feel like right now Schnubiiii could totally take the upper hand back in this game. She has a little bit more drones than her opponent, and she has a 3-base saturation, while Jailbreaker doesn't have a 3rd right now. She's just planting it out, and there's nothing really to defend it. So right now, if Schnubiiii wants to go for a Ling harassment, she could totally go for that. But there's something that surprises me more in Jailbreaker's side, is that the Storm upgrade will help so much against light units such as Lings and Hydra. So that would be a huge help to just get that Storm and just splash damage this whole Zerg army, and that would be really amazing if she does so. Right now, gateways are being morphed, More Stalkers on the way, Immortals +2 attack about to finish, and charge upgrade as well, so it could be a +2 charge on 830. It could be a deadly timing though, because there's only light units there, and we have Immortals that could soak up the damage from the Banelings, we have Hydralisks, but Zealot charge will probably take care of that, and if the Archons just tank up all the damage from the Banelings, all these Zealots will stay up and attack on these Hydralisks. More to go on the way though. With second Immortal, we still have more and more. The +3 attack upgrade is being researched here, and more drones, probes being pulled there in that base, and more cannons. Look at this, 4 cannon here, 3 cannons there, 2 cannons there, and well, pylons as well to defend. There's even one there. So basically, you're not gonna attack my base. I don't want that. So yeah, this is the message it sends. Schnubiiii sees this whole army and being like, oh, well, I need to produce right here, right now. I have lava. I have the resources to produce an insane amount of units in a short moment, and this is what she should do. But she's supply blocked and she's morphing 4 overlords. Will it be? Will they be in time for that big push? Hold, I'm not so sure right now. We still have a lot of let's say efficient army. Archons, Immortals, soon the second one's gonna come by and cross the map. There we go. And the Zealots will be a huge difference there. We have force field, like sentries are full energy, so basically that's 4 force field each sentry. That could be already amazing. And Schnubiiii doesn't have any sort of Ravager or Ultralisk or anything that is massive to counter that sort of a play, that sort of a force field play that could that Jailbreaker could pull off in that side. Look at this, if she force fields just there, there's nothing that she can be doing here. The Baneling's hitting on nothing. This is actually very bad for Schnubiiii. Look at this Hydra is just getting shredded by the Archon attack damage, and the Zealots being pulled in assault here. Now what Schnubiiii can do in that situation, probably focus fire one by one all these Archons and try to go for a bigger assault. This Broodling's gonna soak up a little bit of damage. Force fields being pulled right now. Good force fields though, making sure that some of the concave is broken down, so the units have to go path around like these. And well, look at these units just dying from that, and there's lots of Hydras. So basically right now Jailbreaker has to come back even later or just warp in insane amount of units. Look at this, 6 Templars for more Archons to soak up damage, and we have Zealots with charge. So now with the Prism Micro, what will happen? We'll have a lot of forward push incoming. Yeah, Prism taken down, and we have nothing. Wow, look at this assault here. Every single Hydra is dying out. The Archons are doing so much damage with the +3 attack upgrade. This is just insane amounts of damage, and look at this. Nothing survives the Archon attack damage. This one's dying though, but look at this. 4 Hydralisks again against 2 Immortals, 1 Archon, 3 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, with even enough mana yet to Guardian Shield. This is what we want to see. 1 Queen dying, 2 Queens dying, 1 Hydra down. GG call. Schnubiiii takes got taken down, and Jailbreaker takes game number 2 in this best of 5. Here we go, starting on the bottom right of Paladino Terminal. We have the Teal Zerg player having to make the dream right now, taking 3 games in a row. It is Schnubiiii. On the other side we have the Yellow Protoss, playing for no team but herself. Up 2-0 in this best of 5. She is Jailbreaker. GLHF called down Python there, and I love that placement. Thing is that this placement has always caused me trouble because I can't exploit it very well. I dislike strongly the fact that there's 2 entrants there and there, because if your opponent goes for a 12 pull just blindly and just goes for 6 slings blindly and just, well, let's see and poke what happens. On that map it could be really damaging because you can't defend 2 entrances at once. Scouting first there, getting ready to see what happens. We have the hatchery first, planted down by Schnubiiii, the gas following up, and soon the pool with 200 minerals once they are mined from those drones here. This one is actually gearing up for it. Now we have the gas after the gateway, which is a very standard way to play. We will see again the forge and the cybernetics core in a follow-up, or we will see a nexus straight off the bat. Boom! This is what I like. Okay, spawning pool cooldown. And now let's take a minute to just analyze Schnubiii's mindset right now. Not really her mindset, but what she should be thinking in this sort of situation. We came down 0-2 in this best of 5. I'm on a map that is having a very short rush distance. Let me show you. This is one distance to one base to another. There's this gas location here where you can abuse drops from if you're not careful. You can actually harass that base as well with drops on this side. And there's lots of options here. You can attack from two paths on these walls. You can abuse with the Ravagers, Corrosive Bile, and you probably have a lot of options for being aggressive and constraining a Protoss opponent on two bases. However, with that map, it could also be that my opponent is gearing up for a 2-base push again, or 3-base push with like Zealots, Archons, Immortals like the games before. So Schnubiiii is in a doubt phase right now. I think, right? Yeah. Look, there's something I dislike about that side of the wall is that you have two tech buildings at one place. If she basically goes for Ravager attacks and just attacks there, just Corrosive Bile spams this way, basically you can kill two buildings for free and nothing can come out like Stalkers or upgrades or anything. This could be really dreadful. Cannon here planted to defend that wall, that only pylon, just making the wall here. So basically if the Ravager's coming there even and biting that pylon, it could be already a very hard damage to come back from. If you're hot safe, everything is unpowered because Protoss need powers in their buildings and this power is supplied by pylons. Well, you can't produce anything out of them, and that is a risk to take when you're using a 4-wall wall. But right now 2 queens on that main base, two queens as well there, and we probably have a 3rd base gearing up there in a short moment. There we go. 32 workers, 4 army here, probably 1 zealot and the mothership core. This is what we like to see. 17 though, there's only 1 gas mined out, so I'm not sure what Jailbreaker's plan is here. So hesitant. See, creep spread, this is a very nice way. Lair on the way. Will we see a Roach Warren? We have a Baneling Nest instead. The +1 upgrade is researched for Zealots to 2-shot, well, 4 slice rather the Zerglings really easily. We don't have the plus carapace, but we have the Overlord speed, and this is what I like. Look at this, we have the Baneling Nest, and if we get an Evo Chamber with the Overlord speed, with Banelings, guys, I promise you this is going to be an exciting game. So we have Overlords placed everywhere, making sure that her opponent is not going out. Schnubiiii has the vision and knows that from anything right now, nothing can come up too short of her notice, and well, she has vision. She just knows. She just basically knows. She's seen the Forge working. She sees the Cybernetic Skull working as well, and there's nothing really to be afraid of right now. Pylon number 2 on that wall, but will only sustain power on this gate and this gate. So if this one dies, there's like 2 buildings out there. 3rd hatchery is just completed. 24 links. The Hydralisk then is planted down in the main base evolution chamber as well. And this is where it starts to be funny. Scout with the Overlord. This is a nice way to do so. We don't have any sort of anti-air damage to deny that scout. So well, it's a free way in. And right now Schnubiiii is like, well, I'm just making my way in. But shift clicking that Overlord path onto the photon cannon makes it lost, and that's a supply block already for Schnubiiii. That's too bad when she was actually gearing up for the huge assault there with Lynx and Hydralisks and Storm, well, Storm no, but Templars with Archon and Charge again. So basically Jailbreaker has one type of build. She likes the Protoss composition a lot. Oh, the 2nd Overlord dies as well. Not even a supply block because she built 4 of them, but like I was saying, Jailbreaker likes a lot the Protoss composition made of sentries, mostly Zealots, Immortal Archons, and this is very hard to defend as Zerg when the Protoss player is coming at you with the +2 attack, timing at 7 and some, so well. Charge though, it's a less recon upgrade in the early mid-game of ZVP recently, so let's see what happens. And as I was telling you in the previous game, one solution to not build a destroyer gate is to get that Archon out by getting the Templars outside of your base, then, well, morph them out outside so you don't have to break anything. Zergling here to scout down the third base, one Zeta to hold it off. Well, this is the key, 8 seconds, yeah, it's killed. And with that 2-shot, if Schnubiiii analyzes it a little bit, she will notice that it's sort of the same build. She has a Zealot with +1 attack already in this stage of the game, probably a +2 researching, but no, right now it's the +1 for shields instead. I think that Schnubiiii should know that what's coming at her is sort of similar, but we still have a huge lack of drones at 7 minutes in the game. This is already costing her a lot, because look at this, at 30 drones and some, on 2 base saturation, she just stops making drone, and that's actually sad. She could have so much more if she just kept on making drones in the early stages of the game, because she didn't suffer any harassment there. But this sort of build type is good against people that are doing harasses like glaives with adepts and all that stuff, like people that are playing on the meta. But this is not working on a player that is passive and is building a third base behind cannons and gateways walls. So basically being some sort of meta countered here. Jailbreaker is setting herself up good in that stage of the game. 3 bases, we have the +2 attack upgrade probably coming up very soon, and gearing up for the same type of build order. However, we have 2 robotics facilities and we'll have this robotics base. So will it be Colossi, will it be Disruptors? I'm expecting M. Canning to incarnate Jailbreaker for a short moment in that game. Forge number 2 here means that she thought about that +2 upgrade, and there we go. We have a pylon on that 4th base location, 5 drones only on that base, 6 more to produce, and we have 44 workers in total. If she had way more, look at this, the Zerg would be at like 150 supply right now. So it's really important to keep on making drones, guys. Keep on producing workers. This is a lifesaver tip, and this is the people that are on the forums telling you when you're asking for help, you know? Like, look, I've sent a replay, I need help because I don't understand why I lost. Build more drones, macro, lol. This is what they will say to you. People are not that mean often, but you know, sometimes. Trolls are everywhere. We have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7 gates, 8 gates there, so a good amount of production with double, oh, Colossi, there we go. Immortals, well, that's gonna be on par. There's something I like a lot, because she knows that she's going for an Archon composition. She's building the +2 shield upgrade alongside the +2 attack, and that's very smart because all the units are going to be impacted by this shield upgrade, even the air units such as the Mothership Core, and that's a good way to do so. Just having an upgrade for everyone, because you know you're going for shield heavy units like Archons. 350 shields, that's a lot of shields, so if you have a better defense about them, well, it's harder to break the position that it will take in front or tank up the baneling damage. So we have the first Colossi out, the first Colossus rather, and a few more Colossi on the way. +2/+2 is on the way as well. 6 Hydralisks more. We have a huge army there, but not enough. It's all light units, and it's the same composition. If we see the same scenario than just the past games, basically Schnubiiii is gearing up for another loss here, and that's not what we want. We want the dream alive, guys. Voice it out in the chat. We want the dream alive. Schnubiiii keeps on making these Hydralisks and Lings. All these light units can be very easily countered by the Colossi Force with the Thermal Lens and the Archon Zeta Charge Immortal Force here. And yeah, let's say for now that Jailbreaker has the upper hand in sort of army composition. Changeling scouts it out. Well, you know what? It's the same type of army than before. Scouting the Colossi, even she's knowing everything right now. So I just wonder how Schnubiiii will react right now. There's so many units, but there's so few drones, and taking that 4th here is a little bit risky. Though we have everything. I think she F2'd everything. Like, she has all the queens. Yeah, she does have all the queens, and making up as many units as possible. But all of it is light, and we have the Locked and Morphing, but it's a little bit late right now. If Jailbreaker goes for an attack right now, these Lockers will not be there on time when this assault will come forth. And taking that 4th base will be very easy for a +2/+2 attack and shield upgraded Protoss army. And look at this, the Banelings first gonna come crash against this first batch of Zealots, and now the Hydralisk's DPS is gonna show forward, but this Colossi's DPS on the back, this is really oh my god, no, don't go forward with these Hydralisks. They just melted through the DPS of this Colossi. Everything has been destroyed by these thermal lances, and this is Now all down to the way the transfuses are gonna go, and there's all the queens, all the army down, 3 Colossi, 1 Archon, 1 Immortal, making the job here, taking that 4th hatchery down, while on the side we have the Zealot sneaking by, taking the drones on that side. We have also an Archon on that top side, doing some damage and wreaking havoc on the Overlords here. Everything is looking very dire for Schnubiiii. How will she come back? 14 more Hydralisks. There's no observers on this army though, so basically if she gets the lockers on time, she could probably sustain a little bit more before actually stuff happens. This Archon's gonna be taken for free, but right now what she needs to do is lockers very urgently. She needs to do them right now if she wants to have them by the time this army comes forth, and there's nothing that right now she can do to counter push that. There's everything on this Jailbreaker's side. All this army, all this force is countering perfectly the Hydralisk force and queens that she's been putting up front. In terms of upgrades, we have the +2/+1 and ++2 again, and yeah, I think +3/+3, +3/+2 armor is on the way, and it's nearly not gonna be enough. Look at this. No, she's going forward as well. The move command is on the army. The Zealots have all the time to DPS. GG called. Jailbreaker takes game number 3 convincingly, 3-0 for the first match of today.